now you literally have this guy. It says y squared minus 5ky plus 4k squared equals 0. I mean, you do the same thing. You just look for factors of this guy, and also you look for factors of this guy. It's 4k here. It's oh my gosh. It's 4k squared equals 0, no? You do the same thing. You just look for factors of this guy and factors of this guy, such that when you add or minus them, they give you this middle term, right? Okay, cool. So what are factors of y squared? What are factors of y squared? You know it's y times y, right? What are factors of 4k? It's 2k times 2k. But in my mind now, I'm thinking to myself, the signs are the same because there is a positive sign here, right? So that means those factors, they should have the same sign, but they generally do what? They take the sign of the middle term. So that means they both have to be negative. I need to make sure that when I add them, they give me the middle term. And then my middle term is 5k, right? So that means I'll have here minus 4k and what? And k. You know, when you literally cross multiply this and this, you get, what are you gonna get? You'll get, when you multiply this and this, you'll get yk, ne? Minus, ne? And then you get here minus 4 ky. Maybe let me not say yk, let me say ky, because they start with what you call with a k instead of a y, ne? So ky, ne? And that's equivalent to minus 5 what? Ky, ne? So that, what does that tell you? That tells you your first bracket is this one and your second bracket is this one. Okay, cool. Thing is, you never told me what are we solving for. I'm assuming we're solving for y, right? Okay, so that means now you have y minus 4k to y minus k equals 0. Then you equate this to 0, equate this to 0. Therefore, that means your y will be equal to what? 4k, or your y will be equal to k. So it's simple as that. But you never told me what we're solving for. That's why I'm assuming that we're solving for what you call for your y. Okay, now it has to solve this one, number 6, ne? Okay, now let me use a proper pen. So it's number 6. And then you literally have your x to the power of 1 over 3. X to the power of 1 over 3 plus 1 equals 6, ne? You know, you can't just equate this to 6. You just need to, you only equate your brackets to thingy when there is 0 on the side. If there was 0 here, we're gonna just say this equals 0, this equals, but there is a number, we can't do that, you get what I'm saying? So that means we need to multiply by this inside, ne? And rearrange it into standard form. So literally have your x to the power of, I know this will be 1 over 9, right? X to the power of 1 over 9. This multiplied by this, ne? Plus x to the power of what? 1 over 3. Then you take this 6 to the side, minus 6, ne? Okay, cool. Okay, cool. What are factors of 6? Sorry, you know, my mind is faster than my hands, so I apologize for that. It literally gives you a hint, meaning you'll need to have this, like something that has a power of 1 over 3. So the factors of x to the power of 1 over 9 is 1 over 3 times what? Times 1 over 3, ne? X to the power of 1 over 3. And they're saying here you have a minus 6. That means your factors are not the same. But the biggest factor should take, or the largest factor should take the sign of the middle term. So that means which numbers that you multiply, when you multiply them, they give you 6, but when you add them or subtract them, when you subtract them, they give you what? They give you plus 1. I know it's literally plus 3 and a minus 2. You see, when you say plus 3 times minus 2, you get minus 6. But when you say plus 3 minus 2, you get a plus 1. So that means in my first bracket, I'll literally have x to the power of 1 over 3 plus 3 and x to the power of 1 over 3 minus 2 equals 0. Therefore, my x will be equal to x 1 over 3 minus 3, or my x 1 over 3 will be equal to 2. I just equated this to 0 and this to 0, ne? And then you just multiply by 3 here, multiply, like raise to the power of 3, raise to the power of 3 to kill that, to kill the what? To kill the cube root. This is the cube root because it's 1 over 3. It's more like the cube root, ne? So you literally have your x. I think this is minus 27. You can correct me, or your x will be equals to 8, ne? Now let's solve this number 3, which says, okay, cool. Let me not use this one. Let me use the actual pen. Delete you. Okay, cool. No, it's number 3. Sorry, number 3. Therefore, you literally have 2y to the power of 1 over 2 minus 3y to the power of 1 over 4 plus 1 equals 0. Ne? The same thing. What affects us of this? What affects us? Generally, these problems, they give you a guide. You know that you need to multiply. You need to multiply y's with this power, right? This should be your factors. This should be your factors. So that means you literally have your 2y to the power of 1 over 4 and y to the power of 1 over 4. When you add this, when you multiply this, they'll give you this guy, né? And they're saying the signs are the same here, but they're both negative. So you have minus 1 and minus 1. This is what? This is your first bracket and this is your second bracket, right? Okay, cool. So that means now you have your solution as what? As, you have 2y to the power of 1 over 4 minus 1 equals 0. Or, oh no, let me not skip steps, maybe. Let me not skip steps. So you'll have your 2y to the power of 1 over 4 minus 1. And then your y to the power of 1 over 4 minus 1 equals 0, ne? Okay, cool. And then you'll have your 2y to the power of 1 over 4 equals 1, because you equate this to 0 and you also equate this to 0. Or your y equal 1 over 4 equals 1, ne? Then you just divide by 2 here, divide by 2 here. Therefore, you'll have your y over 4 equals a half. Or let's just, so that we do things, and it's 1 over 4 here equals 1. Okay, cool. And then you just raise this to the power of 4 to cancel that, to the power of 4 to cancel that, to the power of 4 to the power of 4. You get what I'm saying? Therefore, your y will be equals to, this will be 1 over 16 if I'm not mistaken, or y will be equal to 1. So these are your answers. As much as I'm not seeing any instruction here, but I'm assuming they said you should solve for x here, right? That's what I'm assuming. So I'll just go ahead and solve for x and see. Okay, so you have 2x to the power of 2 over 3. Maybe I'm not writing nicely. Let's say it's what? It's 2x to the power of 2 over 3 plus 3 x to the power of what? Of 1 over 3 minus 2, ne? What equals 0? Equals 0. Okay, let's... Okay, maybe let's also take this down just for control. Just to create some space. But I'll see if I'll get there. Okay, cool. What are factors of 2? You literally have 2 and 1, right? What are factors of this guy? You also have 2 and 1, eh? You also have 2 and 1. But I know that the factors of these numbers here, whenever I add or subtract them, they should give me what? They should give me this guy here, right? What does this say? This sign, it says the factors should be of different signs. So that means one should be negative and another one should be positive. And the middle term is what is positive. That means the product they will give me, the largest value should be positive. So I should place my plus here and my minus here. And instead of placing 2 here, I will place it here and 1 here. Why am I doing that? I'm doing that so that when I multiply this, it will give me a bigger number, right? That is positive. You get what I'm saying? Okay, cool. What are factors of x to the power of 2 over 3? That can be written as x to the power of 1 over 3 times x to the power of 1 over 3, right? Because when you simplify this, it's the same as x to the power of 1 over 3 plus x to the power of what? Of 1 over 3. Oh, sorry, I'm not x to the power of 1 over 3. So it's x to the power of 1 over 3 plus 1 over 3, because you keep the base and you add the exponents. Same base here, you see, when you add this exponent, it will be x to the power of what? Of 2 over 3. Okay, cool. So that means now we know that our factors, maybe we should take this away again. We now know that our factors 2x to the power of 1 over 3 and then x to the power of 1 over 3 minus 1 plus 2, right? Because we just determined that above. So that means our first bracket is gonna be this guy, right? Our first bracket is gonna be this guy, and our second bracket is gonna be this guy. So that means you'll have 2x to the power of 1 over 3 minus 1, and then you'll have your x to the power of 1 over 3 plus 2 equals 0. Then you equate your first bracket equals 0, or your second bracket equals 0, right? Or that's plus 2, plus 2 here. And then you solve for x here by taking this guy over here and then dividing by 2 both sides, and then taking the, I think you'll have to say, because the answer will be on this side, it will be literally, after taking 1 to the other side and divided by 2, you'll be left with this. Then you just raise it to the power of 3. Therefore, x should be equals 1 over 8, if I'm not mistaken. You can double check this. I'm teaching you the logic. It's up to you to literally develop what you call, check the answers. I'm teaching you how to think along these things. Then you'll have your x, take 2 to the other side. 1 over 3 equals what? Minus 2. You do the same thing. You raise it to the power of 3. You raise it to the power of 3. And you know that this will cancel with this and this will cancel with this, right? Then you'll have your x to the power of what? Minus 8. Right? It's minus 8, I think so. That's how you solve the first one, eh? Why are you... Yeah, it's fine. Let me not complicate it.